This is in response to Billy's Talking Points memo from Thursday, February 26, 2015, Christians in Danger. So we all know that ISIL has been pretty savage in what they're doing. According to Billy and according to some other, I can't remember where it was, that 220 Christians have been abducted out of Syria or northern Iraq in the last week or so. We can only hope and pray that they will be treated humanely and they will be released soon. However, it does appear as if well, I shouldn't say, based on what's happened in the past with ISIL, that may not happen. They may, unfortunately, suffer a very traumatic death. But the question is, Billy then goes into saying that goes into the whole segment in reference to that this is what happens to Christians, that it didn't. Well, I would like to say that it really didn't happen to Christians for a long period of time. That in the Middle East, there used to be pockets of Christians and Jews who lived side by side with Muslims for hundreds of years. And I don't know if that's possible or if it will ever be possible to have that type of situation happen like that again. Billy goes on to talk about how 80% of all the Christians that are tortured or abducted or abused or whatever come from Muslim countries. Of course, he wants to get his dig in on the Muslims, but North Korea is number one, or at least was number one on his list. He also talks about Iran, trying to get Iran in there just by saying that they routinely harass them. I don't know how big a harassment we're talking about here. Obviously, anything is not good, but is it even remotely close to what is going on with the ISIL terrorists, or as you like to say, the ISIL savages, Billy? Of course, then you got to get back and blame Obama and say that they're downplaying the issue. Again, I'd like to ask Billy, what is your plan? How do you want to get him out of Syria? How do you want to get him out of Iraq? How do you want to save him? If you can't save him, how do you want to get rid of ISIL? How do you want to get rid of ISIL by killing all of them? How many women and children and other innocents are going to be killed in your play? How many Americans are going to be involved? How much is it going to cost? How long is it going to take? What are you going to do it? What's wrong with what's going on with Obama right now? Have you ever really even described exactly what Obama has been doing right now? Have you ever really described how difficult it might be to maintain a type of peace or to establish a peace, and how things will be run over there after the peace has been established, especially if peace has been established with American blood, if it's going to go back to strong man or back to one of the countries that we don't really agree with that much, you know? And I could go on and on about that, but I've done that enough of that. Again, of course, you always want to talk about the threat of the jihad. You want to talk about the world is cowardly. No one wants to go after them. And again, I'd like to see your plan, Billy, your exact, specified, written-up plan by all you smart people at Fox in the bunker from New York City. Of course, let's just hear it. Let's see what you have to say. And of course, you say that if this happens, that Obama should lead. And of course, Obama's not leading, so of course, you're blaming Obama for the whole thing. And again, you want to point out all the atrocities. But I'd like to bring up a little bit of a different point. I know that I've mentioned Boko Haram a number of times. Now, they've been doing their little savagery type of thing for a number of years, and we still haven't stopped it yet. And I haven't seen your call for doing all that. They did abduct 200 schoolgirls a couple months ago. And those were Christian schoolgirls, and Boko Haram is Muslim. And this fighting between Muslim and Christian has been going on in Nigeria and the parts of northern and northeastern Nigeria for a number of years. Now, I don't know that much about it. I do believe that in most instances it is the Muslims attacking Christian areas, though I do know that there has been reprisals, so to speak. There has been retribution by the Christians. It's a very, very difficult thing that this is what's going on over there. But I do believe that there's been far more Christians killed in the Nigeria area, that northeastern Nigeria area, which doubles over into a couple other places in the last couple of years than what ISIL has done. But of course, the reason why you're not talking about it, Billy, is because they're black and they don't really mean that much to you. And it's not an easier way to, you understand that you really can't blame Obama for it all. So that's where it really is coming from my perspective. That if you really cared about all Christians, if all Christians were equal, then you would be just as much on Obama to going after the ones in northeastern Nigeria, as opposed to just the ones that are in Iraq and Syria. I hope that you can start focusing on that also, because all Christians are Christians. They're not any less Christians because they're black.